We are live on YouTube, live on the Rumble. Good afternoon, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I, of course, am Xander. You viewer are you, and we will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. Today is Freya's Day, aka Friday, April 3rd, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with the year 419 here. Antipope Eulalius lost to Pope Boniface I after both were elected in a dual election and became Bishop of Nepete. So they both became, or becomes Bishop of Nepete. Weird, becomes. There's no becomes, it's became, or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, 18, no, not that one there. 956, no. There we go, 1077 here. The first Parliament of Friuli, the first Friulian state, was created. 1312, the Second Council of Vienna, Knights Templars were suppressed. What else do we got here? 1589, the Janissaries revolt in a response to the debasement of coins. 1645, English Long Parliament passed the self-denying ordinance limiting regional armies, a significant step toward the new model army. Moving on up to 1700, 1721, Robert Walpole became Britain's first Lord of the Treasury, effectively becoming the Prime Minister, although the term was never officially used. Indeed, it actually was considered an insult until much later. So it says here from the other source, Robert Walpole became in effect the first Prime Minister of Great Britain, though he himself denied that title because the actual title was the First Lord of the Treasury. Welcome to the show.
My cookies? What? Wow.
You gotta keep them under lock and key, man.
Man.
You know? So, yeah. So, 1776 here, Harvard College voted to award George Washington an honorary Doctor of Laws, LLD degree.
Okay.
That's cool. 1783, Sweden and the U.S. signed a treaty of amity in commerce. All right. That was, like, let's see here. I think that must have been still during the war. Like, when did the U.S. or American Revolution end? 1783.
Wow.
So, let's see here. Dates, September 3rd, 1783. So technically, we're still at war, and we're already making, because this is long before we became the U.S., because I know it took about 10 years before we became the U.S. There was like a decade-long period of trying different things. George Washington...
Yeah, the 13 colonies agree exactly with you. Some of them wanted to go...
back to being individual city-state type things and such.
Individual countries.
Little colonies.
Yeah.
So... because a lot of people, they know that George Washington was the first president of the United States, but they don't know that he was like the fifth or sixth, whatever, president of a thing that was between the end of fighting of the Revolution and the actual formation of the United States, a 10-year period. There's like 3, 4, some odd, like other things that were tried. They had their own presidents, they had their own constitutions, and it just fell through for one reason or another. But then the United States, that all stuck.
Finally got it together.
Yeah. 1834 here, the generals in the Greek War of Independence stand trial for treason. Theodorus Kolokotronius and Demetrius Plapotuts, both military leaders in the Greek War of Independence, were tried for high treason by the Bavarian Regency. Yikes. 1848, U.S. education reformer Horace Mann joined the U.S. Senate representing Massachusetts. 1848, German explorer, same year. German explorer Ludwig Leichhardt was seen for the last time at McPherson Station in Kugon before he disappeared in the same expedition to reach the Swan River in Australia. We also have Thomas Douglas became the first public teacher in San Francisco.
He was a black guy, right?
Thomas Douglas?
No, I'm thinking of someone else.
Somebody Douglas.
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, yeah. Let's see, 1856, Palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of Rhodes badly damaged by gunpowder explosion, killing 4,000 on the island of Rhodes. Oh yeah, here's George Washington's honorary doctorate. It looks like the actual thing, Georgius Washington.
Picture of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
But like, it looks like it's a picture of the actual document.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's under glass somewhere.
Yeah. And what was this? Oh, we're not there yet. Okay. So I'm going to image search this here because there's a couple cool pictures that I couldn't decide exactly. Like this, and they're both going to be a little bit small, but this is what it would actually have looked like at the time. So this is like, like a painting or whatever. But we have another painting here of the actual destruction, and I can't bigger this. A palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of Rhodes, badly damaged by gunpowder explosion, killing 4,000 on islands of Rhodes. And you can see it's all a pile of debris. So somebody painted what it looked like after the destruction, but that's the only example of such that I can find. Everything else is more modern photographs of it. We have like what appears to be restoration, but that is nowhere near what I'm trying to find. What else do we got here? Let me get rid of that. 1860, start of the United States Pony Express, delivering mail by horse and rider relay teams between St. Joseph, Missouri and Sacramento, California.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. Now, we actually have here, it shows you the overland stage from 1861 to 1869, and the Pony Express didn't last that long. So it only lasted for like 7 some odd years, because eventually they brought telegraphs.
Yeah.
And then the railroad and everything.
Right.
So, like, the Pony Express was just like a short stint.
Well, it got updated rather quickly.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the last 7 years to
yeah.
go through.
But the overland stage was like this purple line or this maroon or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you have the Pony Express from 1860 to 1861. The Pony Express was only actually like about a year, maybe less. It wasn't long at all. So this yellow line.
7 years.
Well, I read that as overland stage, and I guess that's not like the stage for the Pony Express. That's Stagecoach. So Stagecoach offered services this way. The actual Pony Express is this yellow line here, 1860 to 1861, and then there's railroads, which are these dotted lines here. Butterfield Overland Mail, 1858 to 1861. So that's all these blue lines. So that's overland mail. No, wait, that's the green. Oh, that's down here. So they had a whole thing going down here. Look at that. Yeah. I didn't even see that initially.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Did not either.
And then stage routes carrying Wells Fargo and Company Express as of 1874 were all these blue lines here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Pony Express I knew was short-lived.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised you said 7 years. So I get it, but the year is really...
Yeah.
It wasn't practical. Just wasn't practical.
Well, it just filled the gap until, I think the railroads. Yeah.
The fact that we all know.
Well, because what they did was absolutely necessary. We needed to have, mail.
Yeah.
We had telegraphs, but no physical mail. So until we actually had the railroads get there.
Right.
While all that areas had developed to the point of this demand, the Pony Express filled that demand for about a year, maybe less, until the railroads, finished getting there and all that stuff. 1865, Union forces captured and occupied the Confederate States of America's capital of Richmond and Petersburg in Virginia. All right, we got them. Although, we got to thank our lucky stars because they almost got ours, just as easily. It was literally right across the Potomac.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
When you're done with this one date. Are you done with this?
No, this is just more images of it. This was an image I was going to use because of the color.
Yeah.
But then I also found this image here, and just because it's black and white, I didn't use it because it's too busy. But look at it's all soldiers marching in. I love this.
Yeah.
But it's too busy. It would be too small and too drab to be able to see in the actual thumbnail, which is unfortunate. But that's why I put in little things like image search this so I can show it to you. Yeah. And we have here Richmond on fire over here. Look at all this. So a lot of depictions. This is what I wanted to showcase to you. This looks like an actual photograph right here. But what was it you wanted to say?
Pony Express.
Yes.
I am wondering. It only lasted a year.
Mm-hmm.
To put the rails in would take way longer than a year.
Well, no, they already had the rails going in, but as I said, the amount on the West Coast, the development in the population got to a point it was growing faster than because it was almost on par with how things were on the East Coast. So they already had the railroads, being built and mostly done by then. But it was just that brief moment of time where they had developed to a point of a population density and necessity of such first world, luxuries like post. It was such a demand that they established the Pony Express to fill that demand just to do something until the final, like, one more year.
What I was going to say.
Yes.
If it was designed to be short term until the railroad.
Yes, it was designed.
Not that it was designed to do it and then failed because of the railroad.
No. It was designed to fill that
short
gap.
Term, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was designed to fill
that.
Because the West by then, because of the advancements of the world, they didn't realize how quickly the West would start developing and requiring all these needs that they all had on the East Coast, that they had in Europe and everything. The West was still the Wild West until the 1912 or so. Yeah. Like, it was only 100 or so years ago that that out here was the Wild West. I mean,
well, it was. Yeah.
Well, remember,
it was. Of course
remember,
it was.
Angie. She lived here when all of that wasn't even there.
No, I know.
So, go back 50 years. This was all open.
Yeah.
Your lawyer guy with his grandfather, he used to bring his cattle down.
Yeah.
To our lake.
He ranched this land.
Yeah. Yeah, and that,
his grandfather.
Yeah, and that was what, 50 years ago?
Oh, well, more than 50 years.
60, but not 100. So
probably not.
So,
but probably 70, 80 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, and there was a natural watering hole where the East Lake is now.
Yeah. 1868, Hawaiians surfed on the highest wave ever, a 50-foot tidal wave. Wow. 1882, U.S. outlaw Jesse James was shot in the back of the head and killed by fellow gang member Robert Ford at home in St. Joseph, Missouri. So
wow, a fellow gang member.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
No honor among thieves. It's not a saying for nothing. So, let's see here. But yeah, we have right here. You can you see a guy in the casket. That's him right there. We have an artist renditioning of him getting shot, dusting a painting or something. So, and there he is. There's and there was death photographs were very popular back in the day because people didn't travel, as much as we do today, and how we take for granted travel and all that stuff. Go back just 100 years ago. Once again, they had photography. So what they did was, if a relative died, they took photos of them. They had them dressed up and everything, and you can kind of tell because, in the actual photograph, because remember how it takes so long to
develop,
to not just develop, but you had to expose it for so long and everything.
Yeah.
Well, humans just naturally move around, slightly under seat and everything. So in photographs, you see the actual living people slightly blurry, and the dead people are just dead still. So they come out perfectly clear.
Yeah.
And it's kind of eerie, but people did that when relatives died. Like, oh hey, blah blah, they died. Here's a picture of them. May she rest in peace. And here's a picture for you and all that stuff. So that was a big deal back then. So kind of wild. 1882, wood block alarm invented. When the alarm rang, it dropped 20 wood blocks. So here's a literal blueprint of it, and it's an apparatus. You can see it's hanging over your head. The alarm went off, and it just drops 20 wood blocks directly on your face.
That's to wake you up?
Yeah, well, does it work? It works, does it not?
Unless it knocks you unconscious.
Well, I mean,
I was almost awake, and then I was out.
Yeah, true. There is that thing. It could probably keep you down. 1885, Gottlieb Daimler was granted a German patent for a light, high-speed, four-stroke engine, which he used 7 months later to create the world's first motorcycle, the Daimler Reitwagen. And I have here a diagram. Look at that. You can see how you kind of stand up on it, though. It has a seat, but it's long enough to stand up.
Legs,
yeah. So that's cool. 1888, the first of 11 unsolved brutal murders of women committed in or near the impoverished Whitechapel district in the East End of London occurred. Jack the Ripper. Which some believe that Jack the Ripper was actually a hired assassin by the nobility, because some earl or duke or prince or somebody had, they did the deed with a low-class prostitute, and they hired this guy to just start killing them, whatever, so that way they won't have a bastard child who might learn of his true identity and start challenging for an heir and all that stuff. Stuff like that happened all the time. Even Napoleon had a bastard child. So, 1889, the Savings Bank of Order of True Reformers opened in Richmond, Virginia. 1893, the first New South Wales versus Queensland FC game at Brisbane Exhibition Ground, and FC stands for First Class. I never knew that.
I didn't know it either.
Yeah, like FC Football Club, but no, it's First Class. 1895, the trial in the libel case brought by Oscar Wilde began, eventually resulting in his imprisonment on charges of homosexuality. Wow. They threw him in jail. At least we didn't, at least, like...
Didn't kill him.
Yeah, like some people still do to this day, across the pond. 1895, the trial, we got that one. 1905, Association Football Club Boca Juniors was founded in Buenos Aires, Argentina. If they're still around, they'd be over 100 years old. That's why I throw them in, like if they're still around. Even if they're not, though, 100 years ago, that's kind of around the start, of where all this football club and NBA and MLB and all that jazz was going on. 1908, Frank Gotch won World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship in 2 hours.
Gee.
It took a while. 2 years later, the highest mountain in North America, Alaska's Mount McKinley, was claimed to have been first climbed by 4 local men. I wonder if they verified that and if they have the credit. 1913, British suffragette Emmeline Pankhurst was sentenced to 3 years in jail for incitement to place an explosive in a building at Walton. Sounds almost like it was like a trumped-up charge just to get rid of her, because she was a suffragette. She's trying to, get women's rights, and Britain was not all about that back in those days. I mean, they even have, like, if you ever see Mary Poppins, there's a whole thing about, the lady of the house being in one of those whole, like, first wave feminism. Remember, like, they marched around in their big dresses, big hats, and their, like, sashes and all that stuff.
And what dots are you connecting here? I don't quite get it.
Well, because she's a suffragette. This is during those times. That's what they did. Like they marched around for women's rights in those big dresses, the big hats. Votes for women, blah blah blah. And there was a whole thing in the Mary Poppins movie, the original one. If there's any remakes by now, there might be. I don't know anymore. 1917, Alfred Stieglitz opened the first one-person show of the paintings of George O'Keeffe at 291 Art Gallery in New York. That sounded interesting at the time. Vladimir Lenin arrived in Petrograd, returning to Russia from exile in Switzerland. New style is April 16th. So I think we're going to be, actually January, February, March, April. Yeah, we're going to be covering that again, probably in the 16th. 1918, U.S. House of Representatives accepted the American Creed written by William Tyler. I want to look that up here really quick. And what is that? Okay, we are not there yet. So, American Creed, okay. As the title of a resolution passed by the U.S. House of Representatives on April 3rd. It is a statement written in 1917 by William Tyler Page as an entry into patriotic contest that he won. I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people. So whatever all that is. So it's a whole thing. I'm going to add this in the underbar section. American Creed. All right. Let's see here. Home. Do that. Enter. There we go. So if you want to look more into this, that will be in the underbar, the description below, after the live stream. 1919, Austria expelled all Habsburgs. They dethroned the House of the Habsburg-Lorraine. And the Habsburgs are a royal family that, they potentially still have, like I think they had something to do with Vok.
So they kicked him out of power, is what you're saying?
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
So, the people got fed up with their crap. But there's this whole thing about the Habsburgs' job. Like, how royalty, like, they only breed with other royalty to keep the blood pure? Well, the Habsburgs took it a step further. They bred with each other. They bred with themselves. And the generations of incest, there's this one guy, like, his jaw's all misshapen.
Sure. And
they said his head had water in it and everything. Just horrible stuff.
Yeah.
And everything, so...
You get into all kinds of crazy stuff.
1920, attempts were made to carry out an assassination attempt on General Mannerheim, led by Alexander Weckman, by order of Aino Raja during the White Guard parade in Tempe, Finland. It did fail. 1922, Joseph Stalin was appointed the General Secretary of the Russian Communist Party by an ailing Vladimir Lenin. He must have been out of his mind. Like, he thought he gave Stalin a nothing position, but instead Stalin figured out a way to make it powerful.
Yeah.
So, 1923, two Black Sox sued the White Sox unsuccessfully for back salary. The two Black Sox players unsuccessfully sued the White Sox for $400,000 in damages and $6,750 in back salary. So, hey. 1924, Istanbul's Ottoman Topkapi Palace was converted into a museum by the orders of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. All right. 1925, Great Britain went back on the gold standard. It's a smart move. 1 century ago, 1926, Italy established a corps of force in order to break powerful unions. So like a corp, like a marine, the Marine Corps, but it's spelled C-O-R-P-S.
Yeah.
So like that's what this is, like a corp of force, like a corporation of force, or like like a Marine Corps if it's a military corps, 26 as well, second flight of a liquid-fueled rocket by Robert Goddard. We covered that like a week or so ago, the first flight of a liquid-fueled rocket.
Really? I don't remember. Okay.
Yep. 27, Interstate Commerce Commission transferred Ohio to Eastern Time Zone. 29, Persia agreed to the Litvinov Pact. What is the Litvinov Pact? Let's take a look at this here. Surface a little screen. Here we go. Litvinov Protocol. The common name of an international peace treaty concluded in Moscow on February 9th, 1929. Named after the chief Soviet diplomat moving the negotiations forward, the treaty provided for immediate implementation of the Kellogg-Briand Pact by its signatories. So this is something to do with something else. So I'm just going to add this.
2 years to complete it.
Yeah, well, isn't all this stupid politics stuff take forever to complete it? So, if you want to know more about this, once again, this will be in the underbar section, description after the live stream. 1929, RMS Queen Mary was ordered from John Brown and Company Shipbuilding and Engineering by Cunard Line. Now, did you know that there is a Queen Mary 2 out and operating now?
Currently? No,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, I heard about it years ago, and I think it's been out for a while, so it's not a new thing, but I just randomly saw a video last night. It was talking about the Queen Mary at night, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's out, like, on the one in Long Beach and everything. And he's like, oh, blah, 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 we're out in the middle of the Pacific right now. And I'm like, wait, what? They took it out? Oh, wait, no. Queen Mary 2. That's right. And that was that's old news. So, anyway, 1930, we have the second Academy Awards. The Broadway melody, Warner Baxter and Mary Pickford won. The first time Academy Awards were broadcast on the radio. So that's why there'd normally be a nothing article, but because of the second part. Yep. 1933, we have the first airplane flight over Mount Everest. The British Houston Mount Everest Flight Expedition, led by Marquis of Clydesdale and funded by Lucy, Lady Houston. And here's an actual image of it, I believe.
You gotta get up pretty damn high.
Yeah, but in a biplane. Look at that.
Yeah.
But like,
well, the oxygen's so thin up there. Look at that. He's sitting there open air.
Yeah, but there's that's Mount Everest, right?
Yeah.
That looks like Everest.
Well, I can't verify that, but I'm sure it is.
Yeah. 1933 as well. The then longest North American hockey game required a 1 hour, 44 minute, and 46 second overtime as Maple Leaf Ken Doherty scored to beat the Canadians 1-0. Wow. Took a while. 36, Bruno Richard Hopton was executed for the kidnapping and death of Charles Augustus Lindbergh Jr., the infant son of pilot Charles Lindbergh. And I just want to remind everybody that Charles Lindbergh was indeed a Nazi supporter and sympathizer. He entertained Adolf Hitler himself multiple times. Look this up. And 1 week before his kid went missing, he pulled a prank on his wife, climbing a ladder into his son's second story window and taking him out and then going, oh, wife, our child's gone. Oh, wait, just kidding. I pranked you. Haha. Some people believe that a week later he tried to do that. He fumbled the kid, landed on his head, died, and then the whole thing transpired into like a whole hoopla-doo. And he used his fame and influence, and he was like, he was Charles Lindbergh, he's American hero and all that crap. So he just found some poor sap, this guy. Bruno Richard Hopman, like whoever the hell he was, and everything. But I mean, like, look into what I just said. I believe it's true. Like, so don't forget he was a Nazi supporter. So, just saying. 1941, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill warned Soviet leader Joseph Stalin that a German invasion was imminent. Operation Barbarossa. 41 as well, Rashid al-Gailani formed a pro-German regime in Iraq. Didn't we just talk about something involving Iraq being pro-German like a day or so ago?
I don't remember that.
Like it was something just before World War II, I believe. 1944, British dive bombers attacked German battleship Tirpitz at Kafjorden in Norway. I'm going to see if we have any comments here. Doesn't look like it. 44 as well, U.S. Supreme Court in Smith versus All Right. White primaries were unconstitutional. Yeah. What the hell? Like,
glad in 44 they upheld that.
Yeah. Loon's time in 46, Netherlands, German postal relations resumed. All right. And the Japanese Lieutenant General Masahiro Homa was executed in the Philippines for leading the Bataan Death March. Yep. 1948, U.S. President Harry Truman signed the Marshall Plan to rebuild war-torn Western Europe after World War II, granting an additional $5 billion to aid to 16 European countries.
$5 billion?
Yeah.
And
$48. Yeah. I don't even want to look up how much that'd be today. 1948, in Jeju Province, South Korea, a civil war-like period of violence and human rights abuses known as the Jeju Uprising began. That does not sound good there. 53, U.S. magazine The TV Guide published the first issue. Cover features photo of Lucille Ball's newborn baby boy. Desiderio Alberto Arnaz IV, later professionally known as Desi Arnaz Jr.
Yeah.
Oh. And there it is right there again.
TV Guide was huge. I don't even know if it exists anymore.
I don't think so, but I remember it.
Oh,
I loved using it. Like, what's on the
this. The only thing we had never had the TV Guide here.
It was just in the newspaper?
We had the TV Guide out of the newspaper on Sunday's newspaper.
Okay.
But there was a TV Guide you could subscribe
magazine.
to and pick it up in the market or anything like that.
Well, what would the difference between that and the one we got in the newspaper be?
Oh, each one wrote their own. It's like Time Magazine and Newsweek Magazine.
But at the end of the day,
everything was in there. Yes.
At the end of the day, they both offer the same amount of information regarding what is what's on what channel at what time.
Yeah.
So why would anyone go and buy the one when they can just have the one from the newspaper?
Well, not everybody took the newspaper.
True.
And I don't know what other newspapers did, but the LA Times was huge.
Yeah.
So they put that in.
They could afford such a thing.
Yeah, most newspapers probably didn't.
Probably, yeah. We were spoiled back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 1954, Don Perry climbed a 20-foot rope in under 2.8 seconds, an AAU record. Wow. Zoom. Yeah. Like, did he even touch... Did he touch the rope or did he just jump really high? Like, that's ridiculous. 55, Baltimore Orioles pull their first triple play, 3-6-2 versus KC Athletics. 55 as well, Night Express train in Guadalajara, Mexico derailed, killing 300. 55 as well, the American Civil Liberties Union announced it will defend Allen Ginsberg's book Howl against obscenity charges. You should start start recognizing the name by now. We've spoken about this book many times with how apparently obscene it was. 56, Bulgarian Vice Premier Tresajo Kostov was rehabilitated. He had been executed in 49. Okay. Oh. He's been dead for 7 years, and you're going to consider him rehabilitated? He's dead. What?
Well, what now?
Yeah, no, they executed him in 49. This happened in 56. So this is 7 years later.
Oh, God.
They consider him rehabilitated.
I'm sorry, I thought that was 46. So
no.
Okay.
No. I mean, it's kind of like the whole thing about like how like in 1980 whenever it was, they exonerated Joan of Arc of her accusations. She's been dead for 500 years. Okay, like why are we wasting money on this crap?
True.
Like what the hell? I mean, cool, but like what does it do at the end of the day? 57, Samuel Beckett's play Endgame premiered in London as a French language production. That's interesting. French language in London. 58, Fidel Castro's rebels attacked Havana. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
1960, earthquake in Havre 7.0 in Belgium. So.
Now, do you know Castro came here and got our backing.
Yes, and then he bit the hand that fed him.
And got money from us or whatever we got
for
support.
Well, we wanted to get over.
And turned on us.
Who was it that?
He really snookered us, shall we say?
Yeah. Well, like who was it that he overthrew? Batista, right?
Oh, Batista, yeah.
Yeah, because we wanted Batista gone,
Yeah.
so we kind of used him as a way to get Batista gone.
Yeah.
But very much like the Taliban, we just created our own enemy for later on down the road.
Yeah, exactly right.
Because Bin Laden, was a CIA asset.
I guess he was.
He was.
I've never heard that confirmed, but I have heard.
He's on the docket. So.
Okay.
62, U.S. jockey Eddie Arcaro retired after 31 years with 24,092 races under his belt. Yeah. 63, NASA launched Explorer 17 and it reached Earth's orbit at an initial 254 kilometers and then 914 kilometers. All right. 64, the Beatles held top 6 spots on the record chart in Sydney, Australia. That's impressive.
Yeah.
64 as well, U.S. and Panama agreed to resume diplomatic relations. All right. 65, the first atomic-powered spacecraft, SNAP 10A, launched. So it's like a satellite, and it has like an atomic thing, so that way it doesn't only rely on solar power. Like it has like an atomic, a mini atomic generator for constant power and everything. So, and they hoped that it would burn up enough in the atmosphere on re-entry when when they decommissioned it for whatever reason later on. Because what goes up must come down. Yeah. Everything comes down eventually, and it's better to control it and have it burn up in re-entry. There's with nuclear power stuff, because I don't think we sent up that many nuclear power satellites. Because
burn up in the atmosphere with nuclear power in it. Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like they believe that it'll be burnt up and dispersed enough for it not to be harmful, but they still didn't put that many nuclear powered devices up there. Just because you don't want to just do it all the time, because then it will be a problem, So, 1966, Soviet Luna 10 completed its first orbit around the moon. All right. 67, 113 East Europeans attending World Amateur Hockey Championships in Vienna asked for political asylum. Wow. So they all came over to the West. They're like, please let us stay. Mm-hmm. So. 1968, North Vietnam agreed to meet U.S. representatives to set up preliminary peace talks.
In Paris, yeah.
Yep. 1968, we got that one. 1968 as well, science fiction film Planet of the Apes, starring Charlton Heston and Roddy McDowall, opened nationally in the United States. They blew it all up. 68 as well, Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I've Been to the Mountaintop speech. Only to be assassinated the next day. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. But if it's all right, would it be cool if I played a little bit of a speech here?
Yeah.
It's only
I Have a Dream speech?
No, it's I've Been to the Mountaintop.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I'm just going to play this in its entirety.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
Now I'm gonna add this in the underbar section because I don't want to because we gotta keep on going here.
So dead
on. Mountain top speech. So there we go. So yeah, please once again check the underbar of the description after live stream. That link will be down there. But it is a very powerful speech. I saw it earlier, and it's a real shame because he was assassinated the next day.
Yeah.
So that's gonna most likely be covered tomorrow. 1969, Vietnam War. U.S. Secretary of Defense Melvin Laird announced that the United States will start to Vietnamize the war effort. This why can't I say this word? Vietnamization policy will see to less U.S. involvement in the conflict. 1970, as part of a new Get Tough policy in Northern Ireland, Ian Freeland of the British Army warned that those throwing petrol bombs could be shot dead. Well, that makes sense. You know, they're using weapons, so use weapons back at them. 1970, Miriam Hargrave of England passed her driver's test on the 40th attempt. That's
40th.
very concerning.
Wow.
And not at all helpful towards the stereotype. So
40th attempt.
yeah, you know what, Miriam, maybe it's best that you don't drive.
I would think
Like,
so.
you know, I'm sorry, like, but 40 times, no. 1971, the Temptations scored their second U.S. #1 with Just My Imagination, Running Away With Me. Okay. 73, first mobile phone call was made in downtown Manhattan, New York City by Motorola employee Martin Cooper and to Joel S. Engel in Bell Labs' headquarters in New Jersey. All right. So the first cell phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was probably with one of those huge brick phones.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it wasn't like that.
Nope. 74, gold hit a record $197 an ounce in Paris. Gee, I
yeah.
wish it was that low now. That'd be
Oh,
nice. 74 as well.
Be realistic though.
Yeah. We have the super outbreak, second largest tornado outbreak ever in a 24-hour period. Pardon me, largest being the 2011 super outbreak, so we got one worse after this. So this used to be the first one. With 148 confirmed tornadoes in 13 U.S. states, killing approximately 315 people and injuring nearly 5,500 others. Wow.
You got to remember though, within as cheap as 197 or whatever it was dollars for gold. That's coming up within a few years from $36,
Oh, wow.
where it was the price was set for gold, never changed for years and years and years. $36, and then they said, well, we got to, we got to get off the gold standard or whatever. Not that they correlate, but it's got to find its own market. So it went from that to 190. That was high. I remember, God, we're going to hit 200 here. Wow.
Yeah. Now, how much is it per ounce?
Now,
Yeah.
about 4,700. It's been over 5.
So $4,700.
Yeah, it's been over 5.
Ridiculous.
A few months ago.
Yeah. Moving on up here, though, 1975, Bobby Fischer was stripped of world chess title for refusing to defend it. The title was awarded to Russian Anatoly Karpov by default. Yeah. So congratulations. Didn't Bobby Fischer play that machine once?
I don't know, probably. But there's no machine that could beat him. But what he did, he really complained about the rules of how the tournament was structured. And then when he actually won and became the chess master or whatever, then he started using those rules against the Germans and the Russians and everything, who were dominating chess at that time. And then I guess I didn't realize he.
So he was a hypocrite.
No, he wanted to show him how unfair it was.
Oh.
So he says, "Okay, I had to fight that. Now you guys figure out how to do this.
Oh, okay.
I have the advantage now." But apparently he decided just not to do it anymore. He got tired of it.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, he was quite the chess master.
1975, during the Vietnam War, Operation Baby Lift began, which was a mass evacuation of children in the closing stages of this conflict. Now, for people like me, like I grew up watching shows like Hey Arnold. There was this one Christmas episode and everything. And one of the characters, Mr. Wynn, that lived in the boarding house and everything. Apparently, he was somebody who lived in Vietnam or something. And he gave up his child, and he lived in that city because he was trying to find her this whole time. And eventually, Helga found her, and it's a whole awesome story and everything. It's really interesting that because I'm not sure how children's cartoons are these days. I'm not a kid. I don't watch that crap. I don't even watch TV. But you have stuff like that in children's cartoons. We learned hard life lessons without even realizing it as kids. They slipped in stuff like that. Yeah. It's wild. 1977, Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg adopted summertime. What the hell is summertime?
Wasn't that a play of some sort? I don't know.
A play?
So that's what comes to mind for me.
Like,
it's summertime.
Are you thinking like springtime for Hitler in Germany for the
this
producers?
is the Netherlands. I don't know. Maybe they gave.
It's daylight saving time by country. That's what I get when I look this up here.
Well, maybe it has something to do with their education system. Maybe they went year round and didn't have a summertime.
Well, no, I looked up this article. It's telling me about daylight saving time. So maybe like it's some kind of daylight saving time. Because in the summer, the days are longer than in the winter by daylight. So.
Well, yeah, they are, but they're also getting shorter.
Yeah, but that's probably what this means. This is probably like
it doesn't mean anything when you get right down to it.
Daylight saving time. Oh, here we go. Daylight saving time, also known as summertime. Right there.
Okay.
So
they adopted daylight savings time.
Essentially, yes.
Why not tell us that?
Daylight saving time. Yeah. I'm adding that. There we go.
Who's ever heard of summertime? Maybe that's popular in Europe or something.
Probably, yeah. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry, I had to sneeze. 1978 here, European market and China signed a trade agreement. It's a bad move for Europe there. It's 1980. Nope, not reading that one. 1980. Here we go. U.S. Congress restored a federal trust relationship with the 501 members of the Shivwits, Kanosh, Kusharam, and the Indian Peaks and Cedar City bands of the Paiute people of Utah. So they're all like Native American names and everything. 81, Arnie Bolt of Saskatchewan jumped 6 feet 8 and a quarter inches with one leg.
Whoa.
He jumped that with one leg.
Whoa. What was he jumping? High jump or?
I guess the sand jump, like he jumped 6 feet 8.25 inches.
Jumps 8.
What is it? What is here? I feel like a tag right here in my knee area. So. What else do we got here? 1981, we have race riots in London's Brixton area in England. That doesn't sound good. So, 81 as well, the Osborne 1, the first successful portable computer, was unveiled at the West Coast Computer Fair in San Francisco. And that's what this is.
Portable computer. So
what you did.
It must be on hinges, huh? Yeah.
Like this here flips up into that, and then you have a locker, And then this whole thing, it's a tower that you carry around like a suitcase.
Yeah. 400 pounds later.
Yeah.
Put it on your back.
Yeah. Well, it's technically the world's first laptop, which, by the way, do you know where the term laptop comes from?
No.
I think it was Steve Jobs who always had, his computer in his lap.
Oh, okay.
And then people started calling it his laptop, and that's where the term came from or something. I'm not sure where the actual design of laptops, the folding in half thing, where that came from, or if they developed that because of Steve Jobs, what he did, or whatever. Because back then, computers, we didn't have just towers. It was a thing that on the bottom that you sat the monitor on, back in the day. So he sat the whole thing on his lap.
Oh,
yeah.
You're right.
Laptops.
I was thinking exactly that, just a keyboard, but no.
Yeah, no, he sat the whole thing, or at least the keyboard or whatever. But and then he died of didn't he die of some kind of colon cancer or some kind of cancer?
Some kind of cancer.
Because he was always putting that crap in his lap.
And it was totally preventable.
Yeah,
his death, but he didn't believe in all the doctor shit.
Yeah,
it was too late.
He tried more holistic stuff.
Yeah, holistic stuff.
Yeah, and didn't work out.
All he had to do is go. I don't know what the treatment would have been, but it was completely 100% treatable.
Yeah. 1982, UN Security Council demanded Argentina withdraw from the Falkland Islands. We spoke about that a little bit ago. 82, 136th Grand National, 48-year-old Dick Saunders won aboard 7-1, favorite Gritter, oldest jockey to win the event. 48 years.
Going back to the Falkland Islands, just the other day, our Secretary of State was lambasting our NATO allies and listing all the things that we have done for them when they asked. One of them he listed
was the Falkland
Islands.
Yeah.
He says, and we had to go against our neighbors down in South America on behalf of England. And we did anyways.
Europe is just garbage. All of them, because they
that
just
was a great point.
They just will not back up.
That was the greatest point.
They will not do for us what we've done for them.
No.
They're garbage. 84, Guinea suspended constitution after a coup. A military coup occurred in Guinea, led by Colonel Lassana Conte. 84, Soyuz T-11 carried 3 cosmonauts. The first Indian the first Indian named Rakesh Sharma, to Salyut 7, including the first Indian cosmonaut. Yeah, Rakesh Sharma. 85, French government adopted equal electoral system. So the French socialist government announced changes to the electoral system, moving to proportional representation. France was socialist at one point? In 85? It's weird.
May have been.
85 as well.
Or at least maybe a socialist government got voted in.
Well, wouldn't that by,
Well, you have certain rules. You can't... Party doesn't make the rules. Still has to go through whatever they have, whatever system they have.
I guess so. Anyway, we also have the Players Association agreed to expand LCS from 5 to 7 games. So the League Championship Series.
LCS.
League Championship Series. Players Association. Maybe this is like football. This is Europe.
Could be.
Like maybe it's not soccer or whatever it is. So, 85 as well. Vic Elliott pocketed 15,780 pool balls in 24 hours in London. Wonder how many pants that would take. Like how many balls can you put in the pocket? I mean, I can probably fit a good 4 or 5 in this, maybe 6, maybe 7. Who knows? So maybe I can like have 10 per pants.
How do you walk around with all those balls?
Carefully. 86 as well. U.S. national debt hit 2 trillion. That looks like we have 1,000 million billion trillion. So yeah, 2 trillion.
Yeah.
Ayo's time.
Yes, now we're like 38 trillion.
Yeah. 87, Duchess of Windsor's jewels were auctioned for 31,380,197 pounds. Dang.
And just to put it,
that's a lot of jewelry to weigh that much. Yeah. Jeez, man.
Yeah. And just to go back on that last article, $2 trillion.
Yeah.
That is $4,000 billion. $4,000 billion. No, 2 trillion would be 2,000
billion.
2,000 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, where are you getting
trillion.
4?
Yeah, 2.
You're multiplying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, right here. It's $2,000 billion. So, yeah. 87, Duchess, we got that one. 88, Mario Lemieux won NHL scoring title, stopping Gretzky's 7-year streak. Oh, hard break. 88, New Jersey Devils beat Blackhawks 4-3 in overtime to join playoffs for the first time. Nice. Congratulations, Blackhawks. 88, Somalia and Ethiopia signed an accord about the Ogaden Desert. I wonder, I'm going to do a surface level scratch on that to see if there's a link I can post in there. Oh yeah, Ogaden, okay. So if anybody wants, you can check this here. What was this? Ogaden. So I'm going to add that to the underbar section there. If you want to check that out and let us know in the comments what, in a nutshell, what this is. What was the accord about, that is. 89, the Mets won their 11th consecutive home opener 8-4 over St. Louis at Shea Stadium. All right. Yeah. St. Louis Cardinals. There we go. 89, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld the jurisdictional rights of tribunal courts under the Indian Child Welfare Act of 78 in Mississippi, Choctaw Band versus Holyfield. 91, Bo Jackson signed a 1-year contract with Chicago White Sox. Wouldn't he have been old by then? 1991? Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson? No, I don't think so.
I thought Bo Jackson was the name of like a really old baseball player.
No. He was... He played,
NFL. Yeah.
No, not really old.
Oh, he was a baseball outfielder.
He was he played baseball and football in college, and unfortunately got hurt in pro football.
Oh.
So he also tried to play baseball, but once he was hurt.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's not that old.
He was born in 62.
Okay, so
yeah,
in 62, 82, he was playing college football.
Okay. For whatever reason, I just had it in my head, like, that name was somebody who was in the Negro leagues, all the way back then. I'm thinking, like who was the other really good black baseball player?
Satchel Paige.
Yes, that guy.
The
Because wasn't he in the Negro League way back in the day? Yeah, that's what I was thinking back in those times.
No.
For whatever reason, I had that name in my head. Because who names their kid Bo, you know, in the 1900s? Like, that's an 1800s name. So, anyway, 91, UN Security Council adopted the Gulf War Truce Resolution. Resolution 687 to secure a Gulf War ceasefire. 92, we have the first exhibition game at Camden Field. The Orioles beat the New York Mets. 93, the outcome of the Grand National Horse Race was declared void for the first and currently only time. After 30 of 39 runners were carried on racing despite a false start, bookmakers were forced to refund estimated £75 million in bets staked. Wow. So that's terrible. 94, the first roster of Silver Bullets, an all-female pro baseball team, was announced. Cool. 95, radio personality Howard Stern got in trouble for disparaging remarks against singer Selena. Now, didn't we talk about Selena dying recently?
Not recently.
Like,
I think she died by a fan or something a long time ago.
I mean, like, we covered this.
Oh,
like,
we may have.
Like, the 3 to 21, Jennifer Lopez, Selena, no, not her. This is telling me a bunch of stuff about Selena. There's something in here about somebody, Selena got killed somewhere.
Yeah, I forget what her name was, but she was doing music or whatever.
Yeah, she had
Hispanic.
lupus. Here's the case, yeah.
I forget what her last name is. Selena, I don't know.
Well, I guess the article must have been from my other source because I'm not finding it. Anyway, we got to keep on going. 96, a United States Air Force Boeing T-43 crashed near Dubrovnik Airport in Croatia, killing 35, including Secretary of Commerce Ron Brown.
Ooh.
I think it was one of ours because this is a USAF.
Yeah.
So, 96 as well, suspected Unabomber Theodore Ted Kaczynski was captured at his Montana cabin in the U.S.
That was a tough nut to crack.
Yep. 97, a Thalite massacre began in Algeria. All but one of the 53 inhabitants of Thalite were killed by guerrillas. Yikes.
I think how they cracked the case, they published his, whatever you call it.
Manifesto? Yeah.
And his brother or sister-in-law or somebody in the family that hadn't seen him in years, because he was living in a shack somewhere, recognized it.
Oh, that's his writing, or that's his style, or his language, or something.
Or they had read some of it, or something.
Yeah.
And said, I think that's my brother.
That's a heck of a tip-off. In the year 2000, in the United States versus Microsoft Corporation, Microsoft was ruled to have violated the U.S. antitrust law by keeping an oppressive thumb on its competitors. Where did this energy go? We need this back. We needed to start.
No.
We need it. Like, no, these companies, these corporations are way too big, way too influential.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what they're saying. They're too big and they're crushing anybody to come, any upstarts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Before they got going.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Where did this energy go?
Oh, the U.S. energy.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about corporate energy.
No.
Okay,
what I'm saying is,
yes, I agree.
They ruled that Microsoft had violated the law by keeping an oppressive thumb. Where did this energy go? We need to keep the whip on the corporations hard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
2004, Islamic terrorists involved in the March 11, 2004 Madrid train bombing attacks became trapped by the police in their apartment and off themselves. I remember hearing about this. Ooh. 2006, Steve Yzerman scored his final NHL goal, number 692, against the Calgary Flames. An NHL legend. Yeah, we spoke about him the other day. 2007, conventional train world speed record. A French TGV train on the LGV EST high-speed line set new official world speed record at 574.8 kilometers per hour, or 159.6 meters a second, or 357.2 miles per hour.
Wow.
So I'm going to
tell you, we are
French
so
TV,
far
2007.
behind, especially Japan and high-speed rail.
Oh, Japan is not even a contest with them.
I don't know why we haven't developed that as we go.
Because we can, but we don't want to. We want to, like...
I mean, it's not practical out here because of the distances.
Yeah.
And we don't travel like that. But people commute from D.C. to New York all the time.
True. I mean, they've been trying to make the Los Angeles to Sacramento, San Francisco, Las Vegas. there's like 4 or 5 different high-speed rail ideas.
We put billions and billions into a rail line with high speed, and it's, I don't know, gone 50 feet or something. I don't know what it is. It's absurd.
The Boring Company got involved at one point.
In fact, Trump said, we ain't subsidizing that anymore. We're cutting it off.
Yeah. 2007, the Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards denied saying he smoked his father's ashes in an interview with NME. Why the hell was that even a thing? Why would anybody even make that up? What the hell is wrong with people?
First off, it's not going to burn. You can't smoke it. It's just, it's like rock. I mean, everything's taken out of it.
Yeah, no, like it's what remains of like, you know, your bones and all the moisture and everything.
But you can't light it up.
No, because that's it got lit up to become that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like bread.
Yeah,
you know,
no, that's what I'm saying. So that's bullshit.
Yeah.
He may have put some in there just to say he did it, but it didn't burn.
But I don't think he would make that up. I think that was like a tabloid that made some bullshit.
Most likely.
But how would you even think of that? What a horrible thing to make up at all. So, anyway, 2008, Mariah Carey overtook Elvis Presley's record of 17 #1 U.S. hits with her 18th "Touch My Body" album. What a horrible, disgusting name. Only the Beatles have more with 20. What a horrible name with a capital W. 2008, HCA Airlines, one of the 10 largest airline or U.S. airline passenger airlines, blah, 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 and the largest charter airline, filed for bankruptcy for the second time in 5 years and ceased all operations. 2008, Texas law enforcement cordoned off the FLDS's YFS branch. Eventually, 533 women and children will be taken into state custody. What the hell is going on here? I'm going to look this up here really quick. I don't want Rumble. I want Nicosia. No. YFZ Ranch. Former Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints community in Texas. So this is the Mormons. What are the Mormons doing? Cult community of as many as 700 people located near El Dorado in Schuyler County, Texas. In April of 2014, the state of Texas took physical and legal possession of the property. As of 2019, the property was in the process of being sold to the Dallas-based firm ETG Properties, LLC, who were already leasing it for use as a military and law enforcement training facility. What is going on here? So that's wild. YFZ Ranch. Let's see here. YFZ Ranch. Let's add that into the underbar section really quick. Moving on up, what else do we got? 2009, Australia formally adopted the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. Awesome.
There you go.
2009 as well, Jiverly, weird name, and Terrace Wong opened fire at the American Civic Association Immigrant Center in Binghamton, New York, killing 13 and wounding 4 before destroying themselves. Wow. 2010, Matt Smith's first appearance as the 11th Doctor with Karen Gillan as his companion in BBC program Doctor Who during the 11th Hour episode. Oh, his name is Matt Smith. Okay. 2010 as well, Apple Inc. released the first generation iPad, a tablet computer. 2012, Rock for the Rainforest benefit concert held at Carnegie Hall, New York City. Performers included Sting, Elton John, James Taylor, Jennifer Hudson, Roseanne Cash, Vince Gill, Esperanza Spalding, Bruno Mars, Brian Turfield, and Bill Clinton. Was he up there with the sax or something? Why is he in there?
I don't know.
That's weird. He's even in the picture.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is the Rock for the Rainforest benefit concert, and he's listed as one of the acts. So was he up there with a saxophone?
Well, I may have given a speech.
But that has nothing to do with the Rock for the Rainforest. Why is politics getting into that?
Well, he may have given a speech on the rainforest. I don't know.
That's weird.
Or he may have played the saxophone. Who knows?
That makes more sense. But anyway, this one's nightmarish. 2012, Spanish unemployment reaches record high. Youth unemployment stands at 50%.
Yeah.
Wow. And those are the ones that are getting documented. So.
What are you talking about? That's
like
Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, like that's half.
I know. Half of the youth can't find jobs.
Yeah, and those are the ones that are getting documented, that are actively looking, that are being noticed.
No. Okay.
To become this number.
Yeah.
So that tells me there's more. You know.
Yeah.
So more than 1 out of
10% at least have quit, so there's 60%.
Yeah. Well, this is 50% of youth. So more than 1 out of every 2 youth at least. That's
and I'm
scary.
saying that the ones that aren't looking anymore and aren't counted, it's going to be more than half.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's more than half. We have a comment here, Tiffany6967, Andromeda. What is that? Is this like some random advertisement? Interesting comment. Anyway, what else we got here? 2014, Pope Francis canonized Francois de Laval, the first bishop of Quebec, as a Catholic saint. 2014 as well, Tommy Lynn Sells was executed at the Texas State Penitentiary in Huntsville for the murder of 9-year-old Mary Perez. He is thought to have committed 21 other murders. Wow. 2016, ICC Women's Cricket T20 World Cup. Even the
women's cricket.
Yeah. Hey,
that's
women
not
can
cricket.
What, you say women can't play cricket? Are you some kind of women cricket sexist guy or something? Eden Gardens, Kolkata, Haley Matthews won 66 from 45 balls, led West Indies to 149 out of 2.
Women's cricket?
Well, it says here they beat Australia 148 by 5, or 148 out of 5 by 4 wickets with 2 balls to spare.
You can't have balls. Wickets you can have.
Yeah.
Although a wicket doesn't sound like a woman either.
Well, what's the difference between snowmen and snowwomen?
I hate to ask what.
Snowballs.
Of course.
Well, we were talking about balls. I gave you that joke and you failed me.
I know.
2016, Panama Papers were published. 11.5 million confidential legal documents from offshore law firm Mossack Fonseca were leaked, exposing widespread illegal activities including fraud, kleptocracy, tax evasion, and the violation of international sanctions by the world's elite in the world's largest ever data leak. In total, it revealed information on 214,488 offshore companies. Wow.
I did hear about that.
And has anything been done about him? You know,
who went to jail?
You know,
Nobody.
I don't want people in jail. I want people hanging in a tree. I don't want to pay money to feed and clothe these guys. I want them gone. 2018, Alex Pocayo ascended Penrose Step V14 8B Plus in Leavenworth, USA. That sounds like mountain climbing.
What are talking about? Maybe
rock climber.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Alex Pocayo. So
I have no idea what that meant, though.
I didn't either. So, but it has something to do with climbing. 2018 as well, a 38-year-old gun woman opened fire at the YouTube headquarters in San Bruno, California, injuring 3 people before destroying herself. So,
wow.
There was a lot of memes made after that. I don't really want to repeat. They're funny, but I don't want to anger the feminazis. So,
I don't want to hear them.
2019. Oh, come on, don't be weak. Brunei brought into force new Sharia law, publishing homosexual intercourse and adultery with death by stoning, prompting widespread condemnation. Yeah, it's a terrible thing to do. Yeah, condemnation. So,
yeah. And what country was that?
Brunei. So shame on you, Brunei.
I don't know Brunei.
I don't know.
It's got to be in the Middle East somewhere, right?
I've heard of Brunei. You know what? Let's look up Brunei, even though we're already over our hour, but we're almost done. Where's Brunei? Oh, it's in... wait, why is it showing me different things? Hold on a second. What is this map here? It's bigger this. Brunei. It's in this area.
Where is that?
Well, that's Australia here. So it's in like the whatever these are, Oceania, like Southeast Asia area.
Okay.
Because that's China up here. There's Japan.
Okay. Yeah.
There's Vietnam. You know, there's New Guinea is somewhere up here. So Australia, New Zealand. Hey, they made it.
New Zealand is where, right?
Over here.
Oh, New Zealand's farther south?
Yes. New Zealand's way
I thought
over
it was
here.
the other way around.
No.
I thought New Zealand was north of.
No. New Guinea and everything is north up here.
Okay.
New Zealand's way down over here.
Okay.
So,
I didn't.
And there's
know
Tasmania.
That. Son of a gun.
There's Antarctica.
That's like your thing yesterday with the Warsaw back.
Yeah.
All my life I thought it was flipped.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, 2019, San Antonio coach Geg Popovich was ejected after an NBA record low 63 seconds in the Spurs' 113-85 loss in Denver, receiving 2 technical fouls and a verbal confrontation with the referee.
Greg Popovich.
Greg? Greg. This was 2019. It says Geg. Like, I don't know what to say.
It's supposed to be Greg, I think.
Okay.
Greg Popovich.
That would make more sense because I never heard a name called Geg.
No.
It's weird. 2020, U.S. aircraft carrier Captain Brett Crozier cheered off his ship after being fired for a letter demanding more help for his sailors infected with Kung flu. So he was trying to get more help for his sailors, and he was ejected by his superior. What a terrible thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to delete this comment because this mute user forever. So, and deletes.
What's a user forever?
Deletes it. I'm banishing that user because they just left an advertisement.
Yeah.
2022, Pakistan plunged into constitutional crisis after Prime Minister Imran Khan dissolved parliament and called for new elections, avoiding a no-confidence vote. We also have the Taliban government banned cultivation of opium in Afghanistan, with consequences for world supply as it produced 80%. And that's the reason why we were in Afghanistan. We wanted to feed the drug market, you know? Like, we are on both ends of the sword of all the drug stuff. 2023, NASA announced the 4 astronauts for the 2024 Artemis II lunar mission that actually launched 2 days ago.
Yep.
Around the moon, Christiana Hammock. What a Hammock? Are you serious? That's her middle name. Christiana Hammock Koch, Victor Glover, Reed Wiseman, and Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen. I wonder if it's the same people.
Well, probably she's married, and she took her maiden name as her middle name. A lot of people do that.
But who has a hammock? Hammock's the name of a sleeping apparatus, not of a human.
Got that.
So,
there's a, you know.
but there's not a hyphen. That's her middle name.
Okay.
I think.
I don't know how that works. I'm just saying sometimes people do. That's an extremely unusual name, unless she was named after somebody's.
Well, usually if it's a double name, they're gonna have a hyphen, but there's no hyphen here.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right, but there's no hyphen. So
I don't know if you hyphen that. If you take that as your separate middle name.
No, you do. No.
You do? I don't know.
Well, hold on a second. Are we talking about middle names or husband's names?
No, it would be her. Some people say her name was whatever that is.
Let's say she was Jones, okay? And then she marries some guy with Johnson, and you're talking about Jones Johnson?
She would be Marianne. She would take her original last name and make it her middle name.
Oh.
Some people do that. And then
Oh.
she would be Johnson.
I've never heard of that. Okay. Huh. So,
I understand people do that. I don't know who has.
okay. 2024, 7.4 magnitude earthquake hit east coast of Taiwan, south of Hualien, killing at least 9 people and injuring 900. 2025, Hungary withdrew from the International Criminal Court after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is wanted under an ICC arrest warrant, arrived for a state visit. I heard about that.
Wow.
And today, 2026, so this is today, Min Aung Hlaing was elected as the 11th president of Myanmar. So congratulations, Myanmar.
Good for him, I guess. I hope he's a good guy.
Well, maybe a woman. I don't know. So
Yeah.
anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar in the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we brought you a good port, but not everything, of what occurred on this calendar dates throughout all of history from 2 different sources. Please utilize us to extend your self-education. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you until you catch us whenever it is, wherever it is, maybe next time, because we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm having a stroke. I've been talking for over an hour now, so I'm starting to break down. Anyway, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Where's the thing?